I get it when you're looking at a laptop that's trying to be both a sleek workhorse and a decent gaming rig. The fear of ending up with something that can't keep up is real. You've probably spent an evening scrolling through specs, wondering if the extra gigabytes of RAM will actually make a difference in a game you only play on weekends, or if the thin frame will start wobbling the moment you crank the graphics up. And before you pull the trigger, you want to know whether you're paying for a gimmick or getting a genuinely versatile machine. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through the LG Gram 15 and see if it truly bridges that gap between boardroom presentations and the occasional, just one more level session, or if you'd be better off buying a dedicated desktop or a more hardcore gaming laptop. First off, the thing that makes the Gram stand out in the laptop crowd is its weight. At around 2.5 pounds, it feels more like a tablet you can type on than a traditional 15-inch laptop. That lightness translates into real convenience if you're the type who hops between meetings, coffee shops, and a couch for a quick gaming break. I tested the portability by slipping it into a typical 15-inch backpack alongside a notebook, charger, and a couple of cables. It didn't add any noticeable bulk, and the thin profile meant it slid in and out without the wiggle you get with bulkier gaming rigs. Now, let's talk about the heart of the machine. An Intel Ultra 7255U paired with 32 GB of RAM and a 1 TB SSD. On paper, that sounds more like a workstation than a gaming laptop, and in practice it delivers a smooth experience for most modern titles when you keep the settings in the balanced range. I ran a few of my go-to games *Valorant*, *Fortnite*, and *Elden Ring* at 1080p. In *Valorant* and *Fortnite*, the frame rates were consistently above 70 frames per second, which feels buttery on the 15.6-inch FHD IPS panel. The screen's color accuracy is decent for both work and play, and the touch capability actually comes in handy for quick UI navigation. When I'm sketching ideas in a design app *Elden Ring* was the real litmus test. With the Intel Arc GPU, the laptop could hold its own at 1080p if you dial the graphics down to medium, hitting around 45 frames per second. It's not a console-level experience, but for someone who doesn't plan to run the highest settings every night, it's acceptable. The real surprise came from how the system handled heat. The Gram's fan curve is tuned to stay relatively quiet until the CPU pushes past 85 C, at which point you'll hear a low hum that's noticeable, but not eye-splitting. During the *Elden Ring* session, the laptop hovered in the low 80s Celsius range, and the fan noise stayed in the background, perfect for a shared workspace where you don't want to distract colleagues. Battery life is another spot where the Gram tries to pull double duty. LG claims up to 20 hours of mixed usage, and while that's optimistic, I got about 9 hours of combined work and gaming before the charger was needed. What's important for gamers is how the battery behaves under load. While the CPU was maxed out, the battery dropped to roughly 40% after 45 minutes of continuous play. That's a trade-off you have to accept with any thin and light design that also packs a decent GPU. If you plan on marathon gaming sessions, keep the power brick handy. Keyboard feel is often a make-or-break factor for gamers, and the Gram's backlit keys are surprisingly responsive. The key travel is on the shorter side, which aligns with the laptop's thin chassis, but the tactile feedback is solid enough for fast-paced shooters. I did notice a slight sponginess after long typing sessions, which is typical for low-profile keys, but it never turned into a fatigue issue. The trackpad is smooth and supports Windows precision gestures, but you'll likely want an external mouse for serious gaming, something most gamers already have. Connectivity-wise, the Gram shines. It offers 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, a full-size USB-C, an HDMI 2.1 output, and Wi-Fi 6E. That means you can dock it to a 4K monitor, or hook it up to an external GPU enclosure, if you ever feel the need for a performance boost. The inclusion of Windows 11 Pro and LG's GramLink app also adds a layer of productivity that makes the machine feel more like a mobile office than a gaming console. So, who should actually buy this? If you're a professional who needs a reliable, ultralight laptop for presentations, video calls, and day-to-day multitasking, but you also want the occasional gaming escape without investing in a separate desktop, the Gram fits nicely. The 32GB RAM and 1TB SSD give you headroom for heavy workloads. Think large spreadsheets, virtual machines, or photo editing while still delivering a respectable gaming experience at medium settings. The portability and battery life make it a strong candidate for frequent travelers or students who move between campuses. Who should skip it? If you're a hardcore gamer who expects to run the